Sincere Pierce, Dijon Keys, Rayshard Brooks, Carlos Carson, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and Dante Wright. These are the names of 7 lives that were unjustly taken in the name of excessive force. From 2013 to 2020, 7,680 unarmed black men and women were the victims of police brutality in America alone. Of these 7 names, only one officer was convicted and charged with second-degree murder, while the rest were able to return home and greet their families. Unfortunately, the friends and families of the 7,680 victims of police violence will never be greeted by their loved one again. Dante Wright's son will never feel the feeling of being held in his daddy's arms again. George Floyd will never be able to walk his baby girl down the aisle or even send her to prom. Breonna Taylor will never get to tell her beloved boyfriend, who nearly saved her life, that she loves him ever again. The murdering of innocent unarmed people of color, done by police, creates many more victims than the life that was lost. Friends, families, and communities are all affected by the wrongful deaths of those who have passed in the hands of police. After the murder of George Floyd, communities around the nation gathered together in efforts to protest the conviction of Derek Chauvin, the officer who murdered Floyd. For over 100 days, activists and allies in hundreds of cities protested every single night and every single day to gain justice for Black lives. Recently, Derek Chauvin was officially found guilty of murdering George Floyd, which was one of the first acts of accountability the country has seen when it comes to people of color being unjustly killed by officers. That leaves 7,679 families, if not more, still waiting for accountability to be served. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have both made statements indicating that they are pushing for justice and accountability to be served to the thousands of families and friends who are still waiting for justice. With the proposal of the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act by Kamala Harris, she has called on the Senate to pass the bill that would essentially force police officers to be held accountable for racial profiling and excessive force. While the bill was passed by the House, it has not yet been passed by the Senate. If the bill is not passed by the Senate, we are all at risk of becoming the next victim of excessive force. Whether it is affecting the community you live in or the posts that come across your timeline, it is affecting all of us in some way or form. Protests have proven that using your voice and speaking up makes much more of an impact than anyone has expected, and speaking out to your senators has the power to do just that. Explicitly yet respectfully, writing letters expressing the importance of the passing of this bill has the power to impact the country and families who have experienced the pain of police brutality firsthand. If you are as passionate about justice for the people of this country, I encourage you to fill out the letter prompt and reach out to your senators expressing your concern. It is with the collective voices of the citizens of this nation we can foster the change that is much long overdue.